Ties between Moscow and Beijing are now closer than any time since the days of Stalin and Mao, driven by a shared perception that the United States is each country's primary foreign policy challenge. This year, while Moscow has sent troops to the border with Ukraine, Beijing has increased military activity near Taiwan. U.S. President Joe Biden recently made confusing statements on whether Washington would defend Taiwan upon attack. For China and Russia, the two situations might not be too dissimilar. For Beijing, getting control over Taiwan would be a belated conclusion of the Chinese Civil War fought between 1927 and 1949. For the Kremlin, getting Ukraine and Belarus would effectively mean going back to the Greater Russia of the 19th century. For Russia, it's all about recreating something that was lost with the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. Releases from China's foreign ministry did not describe the relationship with Russia as a kind of alliance. The two countries are major trading partners, with China buying significant amounts of energy products from Russia. China will not see a new phase of war between Russia and Ukraine as a peripheral issue in its foreign policy, even though China has no core issues at stake in Ukraine itself. As Beijing hosts a tense politically charged Winter Olympics, and Moscow and Beijing inch closer to a massive natural gas pipeline deal, the ongoing crisis in Ukraine could prove to be the most defining bilateral and indeed geopolitical event in 2022. China plays the waiting game on the Russia-Ukraine crisis. On the other hand, the Eastern Europe is near to full-scale war. The UK is supplying short-range anti-tank missiles to Ukraine. Canada is deploying a unit of Special Operations Forces. U.S. military sent $200 million aid to Ukraine. America also warned that Putin planning to install pro-Russian government in Ukraine. Russian president demands from Europe not to make Ukraine a permanent member of NATO alliance. Russia and the US continue to have serious conceptual differences. Ukrainian authorities have said Moscow could be planning a military offensive at the end of January, possibly coming at any time. According to the US government, these could include combinations of aggressive cyber or physical sabotage, assassinations, air and rocket assaults on Ukrainian military or civilian infrastructure, limited military incursions, or full-scale land invasion. The Biden administration and its allies are assembling a punishing set of financial, technology and military sanctions against Russia that they say would go into effect within hours of an invasion of Ukraine. While Putin's threats to Ukraine remain on the table, and to be clearer about consequences to the project in the event of additional Russian provocation. Thank you. Please subscribe our channel and press bell icon for updates.